So, I want to talk about your feet, the toes mostly, but what I see as uh, your actual foot, in a sense, your forefoot. That is this front section here. That this part is the arch. That's your heel, part of your ankle, which almost everyone hits on the ground or stands on it. So in a heel striker stance where your muscles are heavily disengaged and you're just relying on your joints and your skeleton, but your joints really get the brunt of the damage, but your skeleton itself also gets damaged as you're heel striking around, standing, walk, jog, run, even jump. So there's a lot of skeleton damaging factors that go into heel striking. uh, yeah, the shock absorption. It's not the job of your skeleton and your joints. It's for your muscles. So even just standing around, you have to be engaged, but you need to be able to have a good, strong base, which is your forefoot. Um, the toes, especially, what you need are part of the part of it is to have the correct footwear so that your footwear has enough space for your toes to splay out in their strong position, what they need to be in order to maximize your forefoot ability. Just to be able to stand properly, your footwear needs enough space to allow your toes to splay out in their natural strong position. And in order to help with that, there will be exercises, and I will get into that later. Um, Certainly, one that will accelerate is toe spaces. They generally come in two sizes. You get large ones where you could put on, not necessarily walk with, but put on and like do toe exercises with. They will help accelerate your toes spacing, whereas the smaller ones will help you. You can wear them in your shoes, so they'll help you in your actual active uh, movements, just walking, or if you go gym, you might have them on there. So they both have good uses for them. Um, but yeah, it's you'll notice your toes spreading, and the most significant of which will be your pinky. It will really spread out wide. And one of the reasons for the footwear is that you'll get blisters in your pinky because it will splay out quite a bit. And if your shoes don't have enough space, it will, unless you got some weird skin, definitely blister or just get damaged in some other friction, unfortunate ways. But yeah, the pinky is quite incredible, especially for people who've been rolling their ankles a lot. Someone like me. Uh, so rolling ankle is just spraining it. Usually, mine's only happened outwards. Inwards, it can happen as well, but I've not suffered that. Uh, yeah, so usually people, because you heel strike as well, your ankle's already compromised. You're not doing this here. You're not using it as a leverage point. You go straight down, and the problem is when your ankle fails, it can only fail out of socket. Like it just comes out of the socket. If it's overloaded with energy, you fall down, and your ankle's like, okay, I give up. I can't handle things anymore. This is breaking point. It will roll out of the socket. It will just like pop out of place and snap back in if you're reasonably fortunate. Um, yeah, so that's generally how ankle sprains work. But if you're on your forefoot like this, with your toes splayed out, it protects you against ankle sprains. And guess what? When you do fail, so it goes here. If you do fail, you will fail down. You see? So if you're failing on a possible ankle sprain, it's a lot better doing it forefoot because you're already up. You're not just smacking your heel down. So if you're already up on your forefoot and that fails from that position, it's like, oh, too much energy gone into me. I can't handle this. It will. What will happen is it will drop down to your ankle. So your just that safety line you've got, your second parachute. So once your forefoot fails, it goes down to your ankle. Instead, if you failed at your ankle, it would fail out of place. So at least when you're on your forefoot, it can fail down to your ankle, that safety net. So this is very important for ankle sprains. But yeah, don't underestimate the pinky. For too long, it's been constrained, going into the toes, just tucked in under them. Some people even over. There's some horrific toe deformation, especially on athletes. Athletes' feet are, if they do a lot of running, lot of explosive movements on their feet, then you'll notice their toes are in terrible shape, and it's as at the cost of competition. It's for the sake of winning. You're competing like, I must win. I'm gonna give them my all. I'm gonna sacrifice this, that, and the other. And sometimes it includes their body, and for a lot of them, their toes. And you'll see their toes with heavy bunions going on. It really doesn't look right at all. You'd think that if you just saw their feet, you would not say they're athletes. It doesn't look healthy whatsoever. Some of them, if they haven't made it far in their career, basically it's a representation of mileage and how hard you worked, but they were doing wrong. So that's the suffering that a lot of athletes have been doing, like basketball players, football, a bunch of others. They are basically, as they heel strike, in constrained shoes. So not only damaging their joints, but they're also squishing their shoes together, their toes together, and that deforms them as well. So altogether, it's quite a torture package. So yeah, if the athletes were forefoot athletes, then you'll notice strong, splayed out toes. I'm not saying I'm amazing at it. I'm still at the walking stage. You won't see me sprinting. I'm not there. But still, once you get your toes splaying out nicely and see how strong they can be, and you're on your forefoot, if you can get to a point where every time you stand during the day, you're standing on your forefoot like this. So you get to that strength level. That includes your toes. You'll notice significant improvements that you pretty much would have never thought your toes were capable of that. But yeah, it's pretty fascinating, especially to me anyway. Yeah, salam.